Good morning. Good morning and welcome to our yoga practice. We are setting up and settling in. We have a couple of minutes, so a nice amount of time to come onto the mat, make your space, grab anything that you may want nearby. Just gently make your way to the mat. You can use this time to invite in gentle movement or to just center. We are going to begin in child's pose today if you wanted to head that way. We still have another minute or so left before we begin. Just making our way to the mat. You can head to that child's pose if you're ready. We're going to be about that time, so I'll start making my way there as well. We want toes together / near one another. Knees can be together / near one another or wide to the edges of the mat. And then gently melt down, maybe belly to thighs, maybe the belly melts between the thighs as we lower the head. To make a little pillow with the fists, the palms. Could let the head rest, arms gently stretched overhead, and keep a generous bend at the elbows as we settle in, finding a shape that works for us this morning. Let the hips settle toward the heels. Find a little ease in the shoulders. As we come into child's pose and into our practice, maybe close the eyes. Allow the mind to focus in to the present moment. Feel the support of the mat beneath you. Take a quick check-in with the body to notice how you're feeling today. Those places that are feeling strong, those places in need of support. As you check in, notice if the mind wanders away. It starts jumping ahead to what may come later today or what already happened yesterday or over the weekend. If it does, that's all right. Gently invite it back. Deepen the breath. It can be a little challenging in this shape, so it doesn't have to be super deep. Just nice full rounds of breath in and out through the nose as best you can. Soften the toes. Find a little ease in back body. The hands are resting on the head, or the head is resting on the hands. Go ahead and lift it up. Stretch the hands out in front. Arms are long. There's space between the forehead and the mat. Palms are down. You could also reach with the fingers here, creating a nice stretch through the shoulders and down into the ribs. Gently lift as we shift to the right. Walk the hands over and then lower back down. Creating a big stretch through the left side body. Hips stay settled. Breath is steady. You can flutter the eyes open at any moment if they're still closed. We'll walk the hands back through center, over to the left, settling down, resting our torso as we allow the breath to help us create space through the right side body. Walk the hands back to center. We'll set the elbows down on the mat. Bring hands together, palms to one another. Maybe walk the elbows in a little closer to the head. And then let the thumbs drop toward the nape of the neck. They don't have to go far if your body isn't feeling that today. We're creating a little tricep stretch. Finding your variation of the shape today. Drop the hands back to the mat and lift up, meeting at a tabletop toward the center of the mat, shoulders over wrist, hips over knees as best you can. Spread the fingers wide to give yourself a solid base. We begin with a long spine, gazing at the mat. And then we'll inhale as we lower the belly and lift the gaze. Exhale as we round, arch the back, beginning our cat-cows. Inhale as you lower, open the heart. Exhale as you round, press the earth away. And just continue these at your own breath pace for a few rounds. You can hold wherever is needed. You can invite in other gentle movements that feel good. Maybe lower ribs side to side. Maybe invite in a little forward back motion with this. Be mindful of what the body is feeling and connecting that movement and breath. We'll take one more full round before meeting back at our neutral spine. From our neutral, leave the hips high. As you start to slide the hands away, melt the heart toward the mat. Puppy pose. You can stay on palms. You can tent the fingers. You can come down to elbows if that serves you better. Checking in with the shoulders, the upper back. Big stretch for the front midline here. And then start to walk the hands in as you lift back. Find your tabletop. We'll step the right toes back. The ball of the foot is in the mat. Press out through the heel. Nice stretch for the calf. And then we'll fly the right foot. Scoop the belly as you bring that knee forward. Plant the right foot toward the front of the right mat. Frame it with the hands. We're finding our low lunge. We want that knee stacked over the ankle or slightly behind. Want the hips sitting low. Hands are a nice support here. If you have blocks in your practice, you could use those as well to help you lift up a little bit. That can be a nice variation. Tension draws to the front of the left hip, that connection out into the thigh and up into the body. And then we'll begin to shift the hips. pushing them back as we rotate on the right heel. Keep it connected to the mat. That leg straightens, but it can keep a little micro bend at the knee there. And just sit the hips back as far as your body wants to go. Nice hamstring stretch, mindful of how the back of the right leg is feeling. You can come in and out of the shapes as you need. Turn to the breath. On an exhale, start to shift the hips forward as you bring the sole of the right foot back to the mat. We've returned to our low lunge. Right hand comes inside right foot as we heel toe that foot over to the edge of the mat. Plant it at about 45, and if your legs are a little shorter, that foot may stay on the mat. If your hips are feeling really great today, that foot may journey off. We're coming into your variation of lizard lunge. A deep stretch for the hips. I like to stay lifted here, especially as we're still warming up the body. But if you're feeling loose and good today and you want to start melting down, maybe bringing the forearms to the mat, that works in your practice. And feel free to explore the shape. Stay tuned into the body. Spine is long. If you are melted down, go ahead and lift up. We'll gently heel toe the right foot back to its starting place. Frame that foot with the hands, curl the left toes, lift off of the left knee, runner's lunge. Plant the hands, step the right foot back, high plank. You can lower to the knees here if you like. We'll take one breath, strong arms. Lower the knees, uncurl the toes, shift hips to heels. Child's pose, melting back. You can find a little ease in the arms if you like as we take a breath here. Inhale back to our tabletop. Setting up towards the center of the mat, our strong foundation. We'll step the left toes back, the ball of the foot in the mat. Find that nice stretch for the calf. Gently pressing back. And then fly the left foot, scoop the belly. Try not to scrape the foot along the mat as you bring it forward. That can be quite the challenge. And we'll set up in our low lunge. We've got a nice foundation. We're checking that bone stack for the left knee. Each exhale helps you dive a little deeper. You settle into the shape. Checking in with that right hip, right thigh. Relax the right foot. And we'll gently shift the hips back, finding that hamstring stretch for the left leg. Each side a little different. So as you move, take your time getting into the shapes. Focused and present. Remember that micro bend at the knee if needed. And start to rotate forward. We'll plant the left foot back on the mat. Bring left hand inside of it as we scoot that foot over to the edge of the mat, setting it at that 45. Finding your lizard lunge. And again, if you like to melt down, if your hips are feeling loosey-goosey today, feel free. If you want to explore that, seeing how the body feels, know that you can always move through different shapes. At any point you feel anything pinpointed, and gently back out. We want to protect the body as we move through these shapes. That's where the awareness and the presence is so important. One more breath here. You're melted down. Begin to lift up. We'll heel toe that foot back to its starting place. Frame the foot with the hands. Curl right toes. Lift off of that knee. Take a breath. Step the left toes back. High plank. Your variation. With elbows tight to the body, we'll lower down through chaturanga to the belly. Uncurl the toes. Inhale up, chin and collarbone, baby cobra. Really using our back muscles here. Exhale as you release. Take a breath. Hands are under shoulders. Inhale up, baby cobra. Chin and collarbone. Maybe drum out the fingers. We don't want to put too much weight in the hands here, allowing our back muscles to help us find this lift. Exhale as you release. And put a little more weight into the hands as we inhale up, chin, collarbone, and maybe a rib or two. Exhale as you release. We'll let the chin rest in the mat. So we bring the arms down alongside body, pinkies touching thighs. Palms in the mat, giving us a nice base. So we inhale up the right leg. Finding a little lift, whatever that looks like for you today. Hands are in the mat. Chin stays connected down. We'll lower the right toes. And when right toes touch, we'll inhale up the left. With control, we'll lower the left toes down. When left toes touch, inhale up the right. Strong flying leg. With control, exhale it down. Inhale up the left. With control, we'll lower the left leg. Bring hands under shoulders. Press back hips to heels. Child's pose. Take a breath. Lovely counter pose for that back work. We'll inhale up to tabletop, meeting somewhere in the center of the mat. We'll take the right hand forward, a handprint. Send the left out to the side and then gently weave it under. As you twist and lower left cheek, left shoulder coming to rest on the mat, hips stay high. That right hand can stay in the mat, elbow at 90, creating a lovely little support. Wrap the arm around behind you. Could extend that arm out straight. So lots of variations. Settle in. Feel the breath in the ribs. If the right arm is wrapped around behind or stretched out, bring that palm back to the mat. We'll press into right hand as we lift off of the left, unwind, and then return to our tabletop. A nice neutral starting place. Left hand goes forward, one handprint. Right arm reaches out, and then we gently twist down. Coming to rest on right shoulder, right cheek. Again, we have those options for the left hand. Notice where you're holding tension. Maybe those right fingers are curled up. Stretch them out. Allow the back of that hand to rest on the mat. Maybe you can use the exhales to help you find a little more ease in the ribs. If that left hand is stretched out or wrapped around, bring it back to the mat. We'll press into left palm as we lift off right shoulder, unwind, and come back to our neutral. We'll take both hands forward, a handprint, curl the toes, engage the core as you hover the knees just a few inches off of the mat. Feel the strength in the arms, and then lower the knees down. Take a breath. And this time, as you lift the knees, go ahead and shift the hips up and back as we come to down dog. Fingers are spread wide. We've got that lovely grip. It's our first down dog of the class, so you can pedal out the feet, shift the hips, or as you like. The hamstrings are really tight. You may need to bend the knees to help find that flat back. The heels are reaching toward the earth, though they don't have to touch it. They may never touch it. All a journey. We settle in. Find a little wave through the body as we lift the heels, shift the hips. High plank. You can lower to the knees if you like. With elbows tight to the body, we'll lower down. Inhale up to your variation of cobra. Curl the toes as you gently release and find down dog. Little wave through the body as we come back to that high plank. We'll lower the left knee. Shift the hips over as we take right hand off the mat. Reach it to the sky. Our supported side plank. With control, we'll bring right hand back to the mat. Step the left foot back. Lower right knee and gently shift sides. Take your time. Nice support through that lower arm. Left arm reaches to the sky. We're keeping our left foot connected to the mat here to start. Bring the left hand back to the mat. We square it up. Step the right foot back. Now you can lower left knee if you like, or you can keep the hips high. So we rotate the feet. Shift the body. Right arm reaches up. Our side plank. One breath here. Rotate back. Woohoo! And then other side. Building a little strength here. Back to center. We'll lower the knees, uncurl the toes. Hips to heels, child's pose. Plant the elbows in the mat as you bring the palms together. Again, finding a tricep stretch. We've used our arms a bit more now. Drop the thumbs toward the nape of the neck. You may need to walk the elbows out a little farther away from the shoulders or a little closer to the head. Bring the hands back to the mat. Walk the hands toward the knees as we lift up. Rotate on to a favorite side as we tuck the feet in, finding a seated posture, whatever that looks like for you today. Legs tucked, legs out, legs stacked. Just somewhere comfortable where you can let the sit bones rest. You can sit tall. We'll start with the hands either resting on the knees, in the lap, at the side, wherever they're most comfortable for you. We sit tall. We'll tuck so the crown of the head lifts. And we'll let right ear fall toward right shoulder. We'll bring head back to center. And then let it fall to the opposite side. The weight of the head helping us create this stretch. Shoulders rest. You start to tense and pull the shoulders toward the ears. Use that exhale to help settle them back down. Bring the head back to center. Look left. Look right. Left again, just gentle movement as you move side to side. Last time, both sides, and we'll meet back at center. Drop chin to chest. Relax the legs. And then draw a line with the nose up toward the sky. Slow lift of the heart. Bring the gaze back to center. Left hand down to the mat as we inhale the right up and over. Inhale up. Exhale the right hand down. Inhale up the left. Exhale as you take it over. Keep the heart open. Inhale up. Exhale down. We'll bring right hand to left knee. Little twist. Take the gaze a little farther behind you. We unwind. And opposite side, left hand, right knee. Try not to shove through the shoulders here. Let that twist come from your center as best you can. Allow the gaze to travel behind you a little farther. Back to center. Bend the wrists. You can go one over the other. You can do them out here. Just a little loosening. We round out our practice. You did a great job supporting us today. Spinning them out. And we'll find neutral. Bringing palms together at heart center to seal it in. I encourage you to take kind thoughts, kind words, and kind intentions with you from now until we meet again. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me for our yoga practice today. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope it helped loosen up the body, build a little strength. I hope you have a wonderful week. I look forward to seeing you back on the mat next Tuesday. Bye, everyone.